Oh man, here we go. We brought back special guest Pesh from Live Mixtapes, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm thankful, man. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I was here last time with you. I looked it up, May 3rd, 2023. So
Wow, okay. Almost
thankful.
3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you back. The hip hop game is in a real tricky space. Artists are fed up with streams, um, labels. We can kind of say Spotify and Apple have plateaued. They've reached their peak. Um, you know, People aren't making their investments back. So everybody's trying to find a solution around, just the business in the music industry. And me and you, we talk pretty often, and you feel like you have a solution. So it's a great time to talk to you about the space of rap right now, because in the business space nobody's really winning or being found or making back their investment, I should say.
Recouping.
Recouping.
Yeah. So, first, kind of just tell you the past, right? Where we were, right? We've been part of the hip hop culture since 2006, right? We helped break artists um, before the streaming era actually matured. So now we're evolving from a mixtape platform to the first ever full creator ecosystem. See what I'm saying? And our whole goal isn't just to give you a platform anymore. Live Mixtapes is not a platform anymore. It's now an infrastructure for independent artists, right? So the problem today with the streaming models and what it goes by is everyone's assets are being distributed by the same distributors, right? And there's a lot of them. There's a whole bunch of them, but it's going to the same distributors. Everyone has the same release strategies, right? Going to your Instagram, out now, swipe up, right? That's the strategy. I'm gonna in fact tell you what it is. Artist comes out, let's just say he drops in the summer, June 1st. He's gonna say, out now, I got a project coming soon, put it on his Instagram, tell you 100 likes, 1,000 likes, whatever. Then he's gonna tell you to swipe up, and then they're gonna, tell you to go to YouTube to watch their music video. But Instagram doesn't want you to go to YouTube, right? So if you're posting on Instagram, that swipe up link is now going to get shadow banned. So it's really, really hard. More importantly, Instagram, YouTube, all these guys, all these companies, they all are combative with each other, meaning those platforms don't coexist. So if you're on one platform, they're going to work their hardest to keep you on that platform. Say Cheese, for example, you want us on Say Cheese, right? So that's where we are. Now it's these artists today, they just upload and then they pray. That's their approach, right? So artists aren't dropping music and they don't control the audience, meaning so they're dropping the music, but they're not controlling the audience and they're not controlling the data. They're not controlling the monetization, right? So the most important part is most aggregators are just pushing out your music, right? So what we're building is something that offers more after it's out. Like what's next? Everybody's doing the same thing. So what LMT Pro, and that's our distribution channel of Live Mixtapes, what that actually is, it's direct distribution to the DSPs, Apple, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, whatever. The whole DSP, right? The whole enchilada. From there, we have built-in marketing tools, right? We have direct-to-fan infrastructure. And then most importantly, we have the DJ network access. We have data ownership and rights. That's the biggest thing right there. Data ownership and rights. And right now, for a lot of your viewers and audience, they're not understanding the power of that data and viewership, right? So it's the platform visibility of Live Mixtapes that's going to be there. With that, the front page, editorial, you have these benchmarks on our platform that can be visualized. On the Spotify's, the Apples, is really hard to be discovered. There isn't anything there. So that's kind of where we are with the past, right? Moving forward. But now from the ecosystem, and that's the most important part, Sean, is our ecosystem, it's live mixtapes and the general fan base. Everybody has stories. Last time we spoke about Future and the releases of those projects and those content in the past. But fast forward to today, it still has that brand recognition, right? So from there, we also have LMT Pro, as I mentioned before, which is the artist distribution and monetization aspect of it, right? Then we've got the DJ integration. Now we have future publishing and rights infrastructure being created and developed and built out. And then most importantly, we have the AI data rollout strategies. So we're fully on board and incorporating what's next, right?
Let me cut you off.
Yeah.
I think the biggest argument right now is there are no more stars being made. I mean, over the past 5, maybe since around COVID, it hasn't really been a new star. In the live mixtape era, I should say, and I don't want to say era because y'all are still going, but at that time, it was Pee Wee Longway, it was Migos, Future, it was Young Thug, all these different entities blowing up. Now it seems like it's nobody. Is it that nobody cares? Is it that nobody can find out where it's at? Is streaming holding back is streaming stopping the artist from building that cult, that audience? Like what is it that you brought, live mixtapes brought, that's no longer there? Because it just seems so different. Like it's not there no more.
Yeah, so you said it. I think it's the connection, right? So let me ask you this. Do we think that there are less people making rap music and music in general now? Or
It's way more.
way more, right? So it's not like technology has slowed down, right? In fact, the access, like now you don't have to go to the studio. So people are recording on their phone, whatever, right? It's the aspect of getting it out, meaning everybody is doing the same thing again. So you have your avenues. You have to remove the onion back and peel it off and look at it for what it is. If I'm going to these platforms, all these platforms aren't communicating. So if I go to Apple, they're not talking to Spotify. YouTube isn't talking to Apple. So there is no discovery. As an artist, I have to sit here and worry about one platform, Instagram. Then I got to worry about Twitter. I got to worry about YouTube. I got to make sure you're streaming the content, right? So all these artists are dropping, and as you said, it's even more. The beauty of live mixtapes is the direct traffic that we have. We have built-in traffic. So when you were dropping, it could have been regionally, right? A song catches wherever you're at, Miami, Dallas, wherever, Cleveland, Ohio for us. So somebody drops, Pooh Gutter drops, all of a sudden the entire country, maybe not even the entire country, but the city of Cleveland gets behind it. And then from there, the Midwest gets back, Detroit starts calling. Now the DJs are hitting up. You had this ecosystem again, and that's what's being missed. I'll also tell you the emotional value behind it. When those guys were dropping,
the countdown,
the background, all that, you had emotional value. Everybody that has dropped on our platform in the past, and everybody that is dropping on our platform currently and moving forward in the future, artists like Tafia in Miami, Nike Boy Zeke in Atlanta, K Pistol in Buffalo, right? These guys that are using our platform and doing well, building their campaigns, they're getting this new emotional buy-in. So let me take you back. You would see that countdown as the artist, I'm uploading it, now I'm getting excited, right? And I'm telling you guys out now, or it's coming soon, go to Live Mixtape, you're checking it out. At the same time, Sean, the fan is going to check it out. Like, who is Pee Wee Longway? Who's Hood Rich Keem? Who are these people? What's going on here, right? And that's how you had subdivision. I don't even want to say subdivision, but you had not individual artists, but you had movements. So free bands, you have Future, then you had Scooter, R.I.P. Scooter, Casino, Doughboy. You have these conglomerate of artists, right? If you had Brick Squad, you had Waka, Frenchie, Duncan. You had all these people coming out where they had their own society of music. Right now, you drop a project, a song, a single, whatever, you're telling them to go to the DSPs. Well, the DSPs, Sean, every day drop 200,000 pieces of ISRC codes. Every day. That number's only going up. So tomorrow it's going to be more. Next year, even more, right? Streaming isn't slowing down, despite what people are saying. Yes, I think it's evolving, and I've kind of alluded to that a little bit. But at the end of the day, how am I going to discover an artist? So I got to go to from Instagram. I see you're promoting your content. So I'm like, sweet. I might want to leave Instagram after I see it and then go and look it up on Spotify, right? But if I'm on Say Cheese, I'm staying on Say Cheese on Instagram. I'm not going to Spotify to check it out. In fact, it might get a like, but how many times you sitting here liking random ass things, right? So you're not even doing that. You're really just scrolling up. So this whole concept of I'm actually marketing to you is not even really the case. Again, it's not organic fan base. And those fans are still here. People are consuming music more than ever. It's just they need to be herded. They need to be brought back in.
Yeah. I think about 10 years ago, it was less about the money. Like when I would see people, because it was more about getting fans back then. Like when people were premiering stuff on your site, it wasn't really, people didn't care about streams and money, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It seemed like back then they were more trying to get the fans, right?
So, see, that's the thing. That was the marketing angle from these distributors that came out. Because when you were dropping on live mixtapes, it was understood. We are the minors to the majors, right? So drop on our platform. We're going to get you from 0 to 8. And then a major is going to step in and get you from 8 to 10 to beyond. And here's the thing. It's okay to be 0 to 3 because you're still eating. It's okay to be 0 to 5 because you're still eating. Right now, Sean, again, 200,000 pieces of content are dropping on the DSPs. So when they tell you that you want to get playlisted, let me ask you, man, when's the last time you hopped into somebody's car and they're like, Sean, I'm listening to the new et cetera playlist?
Playlists have kind of been done a few years now. Like,
and let me tell you, the playlist was the DJs, and it is the DJs right now. When I walk outside, if I go to a club, if I go to I got into golfing. I'm at the golf thing. We got Gold Links live mixtapes projects dropping out branded. And when we go to these release parties, got a DJ there playing music. It's not some playlist, right? At live events, you have live DJs. And that's what's going on is this is all being people are being forced not to tap into it. And these distributors were saying, don't go to live mixtapes. They're not paying you out on streams. So they told everybody, let's get paid. Artists, you're not getting paid. Artists, you're not getting paid. The artists forgot about, let's build a fan. Let's go out and build that fan. We now do that as well with the direct engagement, right? So now you can sell your content directly to your fan base. And so all that is kind of important and plays that big role.
So let's go back. Where was live mixtapes and Dat Piff, were y'all rivals?
Yeah, of course.
Y'all didn't get along at all?
No.
Where did that stem from? Just competitiveness or something happened?
I'd just rather not talk about it.
Okay.
I'd rather just,
I respect it.
I'd rather just move forward. Here's what I would say is everybody's had a place and time in this industry, and we're really thankful for everything because everybody has a story in where we are today.
Exactly.
And that, that story off camera, we'll talk more about it, and
Yeah.
uh, we can kind of discuss that more.
But I look, so I do want to touch this though, because Dat Piff is no longer here. Y'all are still here. When Dat Piff went away, it kind of created the narrative that live mixtapes, like when Dat Piff went away, Spinrilla went away, it kind of created that narrative online that live mixtapes went away too. So people don't do their homework. We know this.
Of
Like
course.
when Dat Piff went away, Spinrilla went away, people assume that live mixtapes kind of wasn't around anymore. And it seems like maybe from the outside looking in, it seems like you kind of, I don't know if y'all went quiet or was trying to figure out a solution. Like what happened around that time to keep y'all moving while everybody else was going down?
I mean, we created LMT Pro. We rebranded. So again, we went from a mixtape platform where we evolved into a creator ecosystem. And here we are today. We're doing distribution. We're empowering and we're encouraging AI, right? From an artist standpoint, I don't know what happened to the other guys, but what I can tell you is we continue to look forward and evolve. And again, that's why we're here. Now, our conversation isn't about let's drop this mixtape. Look at us like you would a Spotify or an Apple or any of those DSPs, but the platforms. Because there's a lot of DSPs around, and let's remember, Sean, they're just a vehicle to take you to Apple, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube. I don't care who it is in the world. You could be using this distributor or signed to a major label. Everybody's got the same stuff. Out now, go to Apple, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, and Livemixtapes and stream. That's the campaign. The difference with us, when you drop, it's on our placement. We have our whole ecosystem. People are going to check it out, listen to it, talk about it. You can actually vote it down. The comment section is bussin', right? You remember that, and that's what I was going back to. Everybody's a Hall of Famer on our platform. They have that emotional connection. When I go to Spotify or Apple, that connection isn't there. The DSPs can never provide that because I don't want to say they're too big. It's just there's so much music and they're not connected because everybody is just a numbers game to them and not for us. I can honestly tell you there's a lot of people that have met me and that know who Pesh is or what Livemixtapes has to offer, and we've talked. And again, I'm sure there's maybe some negative stuff, but majority of this, I'm telling you, it's possibly positive conversations, right? So,
Did the labels ever attack y'all, try to get music taken down and things like that?
I don't want to say attack. I think a little bit, right? Maybe, a DJ may have uploaded a mixtape without the proper rights or whatever. But our relationship with the labels is good. And, do we communicate a lot with the labels? We're working on that. I think in 2026 and moving forward, you're going to see Livemixtapes communicating more with the labels and growing, helping out their existing roster. Because let's be honest, a lot of these labels have artists that aren't just doing anything. They're just sitting there. And then they got to come up with their release strategy to drop. And what is that release strategy? Well, I already covered that. So how are they going to become important if they're not relevant on their own social media? And then again, you've got all this social media, and unless you're at the top of the game, really these guys are managing their own social media, right? So the top of the game has social media management, where none of these guys have that. And, as I talk more about our platform, we're providing all that. Not management, but again, tapping into the AI, using it to empower the artists, not remove their creativity. That's the biggest thing with us in Livemixtapes. AI and data. And we're trying to use it to make sure that it's empowering you as opposed to removing the creativity. Because I think there's that fine line, right? Yeah. So
let's talk about streaming a little bit. I mean that's been a big topic too. Whereas though on Apple, I think you get what is it for every million stream on Apple?
Yeah, you get about I think it's like 4 or 5,000. You know, Spotify's like 5, 6K, think like that. Tidal 7, 8, maybe higher. Uh, YouTube is I think like 3,500 or 4,000. Our streams per million live mixtapes, we pay out $13,000 per stream. Yeah, and we still
How
pay you, from the other DSPs as well. So it's not like you're only getting a paycheck from us. You're getting a paycheck from us and them. So you're only increasing your revenue, not decreasing it.
how is live mixtape so much higher than everybody else? Can you break that down for us?
We have our own monetization system, just like how Apple, Spotify, and the DSPs do. But what I can say is we're our own platform. So Apple and Spotify could also do that.
No, I'm asking you because artists are gonna. This is like a great clip for the social medias, but artists are gonna hear this and they're gonna be like, "Yo, if I can make almost triple amount of money going to live mixtapes, why not give them my exclusives, right?"
Exactly. And again, you're coming to live mixtapes, but remember, we're distributing to everybody as well. So in our pool, everybody is in our pool. So again, when you use these other aggregators, these distribution companies, they are just the vehicle to take it to those platforms, and we are one of those platforms.
But why not? Why not? Okay, let's say there's an artist blowing up in Cincinnati. Why not do exclusives? Do you still do exclusives like
Of
live
course.
mixtape exclusives?
Yeah, of course. We drop the projects. It drops on live mixtapes first. So in this example, June 1st release, it would drop on live mixtapes, and then at midnight, June 2nd, it goes out on all platforms like it normally would. And the best part about us, we're encouraging you not just to do it on a Friday or a Saturday or whatever. We're encouraging you to sit here and release it whenever.
Okay, so I know we spoke about this on our last one, but I know we got
Oh,
tons of new
I'm sorry.
subscribers.
Can I also say one more?
Go
If you
ahead.
upload the clean versions, we also flood the entire JPay jail systems right now. So clean versions also included with the JPay. So in this example, we're giving you 3 releases. A live mixtapes version where we're encouraging you to work with the DJ. We'll pay out the DJ from our splits, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But we'll pay out the DJ from our splits, so maybe you have the DJ version. The no DJ version goes up on the DSPs, Apple, Spotify, everywhere. And then the clean versions, we can go into the jail systems.
I know we spoke about this in our last interview. You did an exclusive with Future, right?
Yeah, we released all his mixtapes.
All of them.
All
Like
of them.
before 2014, 15 came and streaming took over.
Correct.
All of them.
Correct.
So you would say y'all broke Future, right?
We helped each other. I don't want to say we broke Future because Pluto is Pluto. He's the GOAT. That man just knows what time it is and what was going down and what is still going down. But yeah, I mean, I would like to say that we had a big part in what he had going on as far as his movement. And, it showed, right? Like we have this relationship of him. We're feeding the streets. Pluto knows. Live mixtapes is the streets. And so, Pluto knows, and that's why he's tapped in with the streets.
Has there been any conversation about maybe a Future exclusive?
Nothing right now, right? We're coming soon.
Because I mean,
You're thinking, why not? Why aren't these artists coming right now? Well, that's exactly it. So right now he's signed, right? I think he's signed. I don't know his deal structure.
Signed, but
yeah. So these guys are signed, but those guys that are not signed, or what's gonna start happening is somebody is gonna be in their negotiations of their new agreement, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? You guys are playing around too much. I'm gonna go to live mixtapes and just drop this project with them. And then now they're gonna be like, surprise, I got a project dropping. It's gonna drop on live mixtapes, also all platforms. They're gonna get 1 million streams, so we're gonna pay them out from Apple, Spotify, everywhere. And then live mixtapes at 13,000. So now they're gonna be really, really happy. We pay out every 30 days. The DSPs pay out net 90. So that means 90 days after you drop, June 1st, you get your first paycheck around October from the DSPs. With us, June 1st you drop, your first paycheck is July 1st from the live mixtape streams, which is already the highest in the industry. So it's advantageous for you to be like out now. So this artist is gonna say, go to live mixtapes. But also, you can sell it directly to your fan base. So in this example, that artist that's in negotiations, he's gonna be like, or she's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna sell my album for $8 and they're gonna sell 1,000 copies. Or maybe it's somebody really big and they're gonna sell 1 million copies at $8. Now they made $8,000 or $8 million. They keep 100% of that royalty, but forget the money. They get the data. We're giving them the data. That's the most important. Now you're getting the email. You have direct contact with your fans. You can grow that and foster it. Now you can communicate, tap in whatever these artists are doing, right? So that's how we're really changing it.
Let's talk about the DJs. Are the DJs still a thing?
Of course. Bigger, more than ever. More than ever. More than ever. Sean, if you go to Spotify right now, close to, I think it's like 90% it's up there, has less than 1,000 streams. And I'm bringing up Spotify because they actually showed the numbers, right? Apple, similar to us, we don't have your views and everything else like that. We'll show you, we don't have your streaming numbers up there. Now, we have the back-end system for the artists, just like Apple for artists and Spotify for artists. We have LMT Pro for artists that they can log in and check their stats, but we don't have it viewable. Spotify does. And if you go on Spotify, if you can search somebody, and there's a lot of names to search from, and if you don't spell it right, this is why there's no discovery. Insert an artist. I got to make sure I spell it right. And then after I get through trying to find them, now I got all these songs. I don't know which one to check out. Maybe they tell me to check out. So yeah, there's this clusterfuck going on. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but I apologize. But, you know, so we've solved that again.
I know y'all had a crazy like rating score system, right? Who thought of that idea?
I mean, we did, Daniel.
Yeah. Daniel's
a founder of Live Mixtapes. We thought of that. The countdown, we did that in 2009, right?
Yeah.
First ever to see it for the music, Anticipation. You know.
Who has the highest rating?
Future.
Which tape?
Purple Rain, maybe 56. I gotta look. I don't know. I don't know off top.
Okay.
I don't know off
so
top.
During that run.
Yeah, during that run.
So how does the rating go? Is it one person that votes up? It's like 1 point. Like how does that work out?
Yeah, exactly. So score starts at 0. You can push the up arrow to vote it up, or you can push the down arrow to vote it down. There's been tapes that had negative scores. You know, some little B tapes back in the day, some Soulja Boy tapes back in the day. There are people.
Wait. Those tapes they had like low scores?
They had negative scores, but they built their own brand. So, you know, I'm not knocking it. All I'm just telling you is the emotional ecosystem.
It makes you feel like you're a part.
Yes. And look, let me tell you, Little B, right? Little B is called what? The bass god. Little B was getting negative scores on our platform because he would drop a mixtape with like 100 songs or whatever. But what people didn't know, dude, he was so advanced. He was branding. He was branding the entire time. And he was dropping all this content. He became the bass guy. He came out and said, all my music isn't for everybody, but the people that do like it are going to get it. And then slowly but surely, his score started going from negative to positive. And you saw the growth of Little B, right? Some artists dropped on our platform and they had negative scores because the streets were like, yeah, this artist is lying. You know, this is not real. And, you know, then you read it in the comments too. Like people would go to war in the comments, and that comment section is back now. When you download the Livemixtapes app, and we have millions of downloads all across all platforms and everything else, you can now tap into a comment section and tap into that ecosystem of chatting, talking about music, talking shop. How many people want to sit here and just, while they're sitting around, they're already on Instagram, why not turn it into a text here or a chat and start communicating about the next release or whatever? And going back to the DJs, I think that's where their importance lies, is these DJs are able to break music, they're able to play music out in the clubs, they have reach, they're on the radio, right? Even though I think that's important, don't get me wrong, but I think radio is also changing, right? Everybody is changing the way they're consuming music. So again, the message here is we have this ecosystem built of where we're putting you directly in front of, you are the creator. Every artist, every fan is a creator. And in this ecosystem, I might be a fan creating more likes, more ticket sales. You as the creator are providing content for us to sit here and like up, vote down, etc.
Yeah. Who has the second highest tape?
I think Wayne.
There's no ceilings?
I think like Wayne. I know Tit's up there, 2 Chainz is up there, Migos are up there, Dolph's up there, definitely. Kevin Gates is up there, Thug, Lucci's tapes are up there. I mean, Gotti, we can go on about that. I mean, we've released over 20,000 mixtapes in 18 years.
Mm. So what's the benefit of having a high ranked tape? Does it stay up longer, like in the algorithm or like in the search engine or what?
Yeah. So it just stays up higher. Everything is all organic, right? So when it drops, you're gonna get the full page background countdown. Then it drops onto the main page, moves down after that. Then it works its way down the rows, right? Then from there, it drops on the entire, then it goes to the featured section, up top again. Then it works through the featured. So some of these guys were dropping, take Gucci or Pluto or any of these artists, and that's what we're encouraging today, is to flood, drop. These guys were loading a tape up every 30 days, every 40 days, boom, tape would drop. And that was, again, going back to the DJs, these DJs had content, they're going in the club, they're flooding it, and now all of a sudden you would hear a Gucci record or a Future record, and the DJ hits you with one, and then comes back with another, and then here you go. Music hasn't slowed down. We both can agree on that. What I'm telling you is if we're driving down a road and if everybody's doing the same thing, it's just gonna be a traffic jam.
Traffic.
And these aggregators, these distributors are just a platform, a vehicle to take your content to them. We have built-in traffic, and with our built-in audience, and that number is only growing and growing and growing and growing, where we have a say in what's going on. Meaning you guys all have a say. That voice is heard. It's not heard on those platforms.
What do you see artists do wrong now? I mean, times have changed. CDs, there aren't CDs anymore. You can't go out and pass CDs anymore. It's really limited. I mean, we have a lot of advice for these artists, but if I was to put myself in their shoe, it's really hard to do because you can't really go outside. Everything's digital. Nothing's physical. Nothing's tangible anymore. What do you see these people do wrong on a daily basis?
It's a great question. I think we have to let these artists get back to being creative and not worrying about what everybody around us is thinking. More of trust yourself. Look within as opposed to looking external. Including myself, right? Everybody, yourself, everybody. We all have to. We're in a society of where I'm thinking first of what others are going to do and think, and then reacting. And we should be confident in what we're doing. You got here for that specific reason. Everybody created a song at one point. I'm sure there's people that were, manufactured, and I'm sure we know who those are. I have a couple ideas, but and I won't mention who that is, but I'm sure we know. And now with AI, shit, it's here. Forget plants. We have AI now, so it's an issue of them repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. We were breaking artists regionally, locally, then regionally, then nationally, then globally, every day. And again, it didn't matter if some artists were just local, and then they popped off, and then they got back to just being local, because at the end of the day, they're earning, and they're sustaining a business, and that's what artists aren't realizing. This isn't a lifestyle. This is a business. You have to make money. Because after a while, if you're not making money, it's showing. Nobody's listening to your music. Go on Spotify, less than 1,000 views.
That's what I was telling Adam 22. I feel like somebody has to come disrupt the market. Like when you see the 6ix9ines and the Young Thugs, people doing original shit, it disrupts the market. It messes up what everybody is usually used to. That's how you become a star.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, no, I 1,000% agree with you. We were in 2006 an industry disruptor. In 2021, we pivoted Livemixtapes, right? And I told you, now we're going from a mixtape platform to a full creator ecosystem. Another disruption. AI Reels creator built into our platform when you're uploading. AI inside Livemixtapes ecosystem will help with your rollout timings, for example, right? Help artists understand audience behavior. Studying how the audience is not just somebody from Cleveland's looking at it. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? I'm on the block every day. What does that mean to me? I don't have managers to understand what audience in Cleveland mean, right? We're going to help artists, make smarter, support artists making smarter marketing decisions. So you have this data wave, and it's the time to be able to understand, comprehend it, and then push it out. And I think a lot of artists right now are not doing that. Then they're missing out with the aspect of, well, I just got to drop. And if I drop, something's going to catch. Let me drop a single. Again, 200,000 ISRC codes. So let me put that out there. I don't think maybe people understand what an ISRC code is. When you release content, you get an ISRC code. So it's basically like a single or a track, right? It's that coded for that song. Well, there's 200,000 of them dropping every day. YouTube has close to 1 billion viewing hours every day. So what is controlling all that? Well, then you're going to talk about ad dollars, right? If you're talking about disruptors, I challenge anybody that's negotiating with their current label situation to come to us, drop a project, and see what happens. And I promise you, stuff will change because it worked before. So that missing ingredients, it's not like, if you tell me right now, if streaming, and we've heard it, doesn't matter if it's rock, Latin, country, hip hop, the numbers are up, right? These labels are making money. Streaming is up. Artists are getting paid, but it's the top 1%. So what about that 99%? So yes, I know about all these guys, and you're telling me that such and such is just the biggest artist in the game, and that's it? There's nobody been coming out. But again, when Livemixtapes was dropping, and all these artists and this ecosystem was really heartbeating and pumping out, no, it was different. You had, again, local, regional, national. The national artists are competitive. The regional artists, I got next. Who's got next? What list are you really going to check out what's next? And then, more importantly, how are these guys breaking? There's so many dope artists. How are you keeping track and listening to them? So you're telling me if you're not on this level signed to a major, you're not going to be heard? So I hear right now today in the media, you've got people saying that they're independent, but then they're signed, or then they're unsigned. Just because you're not on a label doesn't mean you're independent. Somebody is going to take your content and have to deliver it to the DSPs again. There has to be this vehicle. And if you think that you can just go directly to all the DSPs yourself, it's very challenging, almost damn near impossible. You can't do it. So insert us. That's the problem. We are the solution. We've always been the solution. These DJs are important. These engineers are important. Your platform is important. It all comes together and builds this story. And I feel like where we were and where we were going up until we disrupted the industry again was one of where it wasn't. It was going to be swim in this ocean, and if you get discovered, then you become this massive superstar. But I'm telling you, there's an ecosystem of where kids can eat, they can tour, they can sell their merchandise, they can do everything. And it's still going on, again, on our platform. And go ahead.
No, you got the floor.
I was just going to say, and platforms like yourself are giving today these artists the opportunity. I think what's going on is, to go back to your question of what are they doing wrong? A lot of these guys are turning to live mixtapes and saying, Pesh, you got built-in traffic? Cool, I dropped my project on you. Now what? Right? Then they're going to say, Sean, I paid for a post on Say Cheese TV, so now what? Well, there's more to it, because again, think like the consumer. If I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling up. I see this post, I look at it, I might listen to it. Okay, cool, keep it moving.
It has to be a story or a narrative behind it. It has to be some type of campaign. It's too much music out here for us to, you have to give us a reason. You know, it has to be a reason. Bring us to your world.
Exactly, and I think that whole campaign, that's the key words, campaign. That's missing now. People don't know what this campaign means. They think I'm dropping a project, I post on Instagram, I show some money, that's it. But the campaign, I saw this kid on Instagram today, DJ E-Sud works with them really heavy. His name is Anella. Anella is on tour. I don't know if it's a local or a national tour. I see him moving around. My guy, Nike Boy Zeke in Atlanta, same thing, moving around, trying to spread his movement, spread the sauce per se, right? Everywhere, he's moving around, tapping in these DJs, etc. That's completely missing. This campaign is missing. Right now, bring up Nike Boy Zeke again. He's creating promo trailers. So forget my project is coming soon. He's just making commercials about his campaign. Instead of just sitting here on FaceTime doing the same shit, and it's cool, it's catching. Is it him? Is it gonna blow up? I don't know. But what I am telling you is new eyes are coming. His Instagram followers are going up naturally because everybody can pay the same ad dollars. So when they talk about, even the major artists, marketing, hey Pesh, is Live Mixtapes gonna give me an advance? No, we don't do that because we are a platform. Is those other guys giving you an advance? The Spotify's, the Apples? No, we are as well. We're paying you out the same way. We aren't a record label. A record label doesn't have built-in traffic. The distributor doesn't have built-in traffic, meaning I'm not going to the distributor. My wife isn't going to the distributor to check out new music. My girlfriend isn't going to go to the distributor to check out new music. My fans aren't going to the distributor to check out new music. I'm going there. I'm going to log in, check my stats, see how it's doing. Everybody else is going there because Future said to go to Spotify and before, right? Well, Future's always saying to go to Live Mixtapes. We have content on our platform that is still here, tapped in, that's not on the DSPs.
Back to what you were saying, like I told Zillionaire Doe, Montana 700. I told what I liked about their whole campaign. They brought back shooting vlogs. Remember how Wiz Khalifa used to shoot vlogs?
Absolutely.
And
Machine Gun Kelly, Kelly Vision.
Yeah, you're bringing people to your world. It's more than an IG post. It's more than paying blogs. It's more than doing a Rap Radar freestyle. You have to bring us to your world.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And find your niche. Like Larry June, he's going to post the smoothie and the orange juice and the Mercedes Benz Currency. He's going to do his car and weed stuff. You have to find out what you really, really love and do that to the max. You know what I mean?
Well, look, why this matters is because streaming revenue alone isn't enough, Sean, right? So attention drives everything. And artists struggle with consistency because, again, they don't know what to post, right? So insert live mixtapes where we're giving them tools like a major label would to use internally. And so we're going to help you build this now within our ecosystem. You can drop these daily vlogs similar to like a TikTok, IG. Everything can be incorporated. More importantly, you can use Instagram, the TikToks, and we will scrape it integrated within our system. And that's the IG LMT Reels creator, for example. So now we're scraping the content. We're helping you formulate it, edit it, put the captions, do all this cool AI stuff, and then present it to your fan base. So we're helping you build this content that people say, I don't have content. That's what they're saying, right? Well, I can't create it. I can't pay a videographer. I don't have this, etc. Now you do. It's real simple. Even if you just got artwork, we can take that artwork, slice it up, give you more content, and give you the ability to push it. And I think that's what it is we're helping these truly independent artists, the 99%, hang with the 1%. And then that 1%, they're getting out of their deals. They're going to look back and be like, well, shit, I can do everything. And now I drop on live mixtapes. It's still going everywhere, and I get paid from everywhere. And live mixtapes, I get paid at the highest in the industry. You see what I'm saying? So the opportunities are there. We, out of our splits, our distribution split, we pay the DJ. So we're encouraging you to put the DJ on there. You were asking, are DJs relevant? You know who Playboy Cardi is? Right? There's a guy named Swamp Izzo, Hood Rich. That's all I got to say. That's DJ Swamp Izzo. And I'm not saying he is making Playboy Cardi or vice versa, but you can see that chemistry there. And they're going to be winning for a long time, long as that chemistry is there. And I feel like every major artist has that DJ with them that knows what's going on. Go ahead.
Do you kind of get upset when you see stuff online and it's like, I remember I posted something and you're like, yo, we do that. It's like you're creating all these services, but it just feels like the masses just doesn't know. Is that kind of is it frustrating though a little bit?
It's challenging. It's challenging, but Sean, patience. PAYTIENCE. And I'm spelling it that way because fast is slow, slow is fast. And so it's cool. They're going to catch on. Again, when we came out in 2006, we were told that it's not going to work. Then in 2009, Brick Squad, Waka, Gucci, and all them started dropping. In 2010, 11, Future, and all them started coming out, right? And then you progress. You fast forward. In 2016, one of the DSPs got $1 billion loan that changed the game. Then they cut a deal with one of the biggest, the biggest record label out, right? And you guys can look that up. But here we are. We fast forward the same narrative. How come after 2016, 2017, that pipeline of craziness and artists, and how come it just vanished when everything is streaming more? And I'm telling you, again, I just think that the industry has this blanket on it, which is good, because there is a lot of music out that is falling on deaf ears that doesn't have any built behind it or movement, right? I think of Little Lonnie, R.I.P. Little Lonnie out of Mississippi, right? We were distributing his stuff when he was with us. Little Lonnie was so great and so dope. And if you fast forward to Mississippi now, it's not a hotbed. It's not like Atlanta for artists, but it is like Atlanta for artists, meaning there are so many dope artists in the Mississippis, the Clevelands, the Alabamas, the Pittsburgh, these pockets where it gives the major cities that fluency, right? So I remember Doe B was popping off in Alabama. Frank White would bring him to Atlanta, and Atlanta would show him so much love, right? And that's kind of how it was you would pop off regionally, and then when it was game time, you come to the Mecca, Atlanta, the rap capital of the world, and boom, that's what it is. It's game time. Let people see what it is. And if it wasn't, you would go back, you would want to get better. And this is a league. This is like almost a NBA or NFL, and you dropping a project is like a team, or and you're trying to put up numbers. The DJs are trying to put up numbers. So the DJs would be like, man, this tape did this. Oh, I'm going to go back. Then Bigger Rankin came back and started giving intros. I remember when he gave Lucci that Shy Glizzy the intro.
Yeah.
That shit was like, what? I played the intro back. I'm like, yo, right? Like, and and it's back again. It's truly back, and people are gonna tap in. It's been frustrating. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I'm human, right? I got emotions. This is our company. This is my baby. This is our baby. But I do know that we changed the game again, and the future is now.
During that whole future run, I'm gonna say like at the peak, like right before streaming hit, how much did it cost y'all per month to keep live mixtapes going? Was it expensive? Was it inexpensive?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Like,
expensive. We had the back end, right? So we have our servers and all that data costs and everything else. So it's not free. So it was
what
definitely
were we
expensive.
talking though? It was crazy numbers, or
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely expensive. It was definitely expensive. Remember, at that time, we weren't participating on the distribution side. So we're a private company, right? So our money is based off of ad traffic. So our user base, the people that are coming to our platform. So, it's the adolescent flow, right? Like I said, and everything was great, and we're flooding the streets, and we're breaking artists. Artists, not just one, not 5, not 10. I'm talking hundreds of artists, local, regional, national, creating noise, right? This platform is booming.
artists are gonna ask though. And I know how my platform is, and I know how people are. I know how niggas are. I'm gonna keep it real with you. They're gonna be like, "What's the catch? $13,000 for 1 million streams. It has to be a catch."
There's no catch. Just don't have shit.
We're talking 3 times more
Yeah.
than
Don't.
Apple, Spotify.
Here's the catch. Just understand that not everyone is supposed to make music. That's the catch. And if you're okay with that, you're going to find out. Some stuff might grow, some stuff not. Here, I dropped a project where I worked with a bunch of producers, right? Artists that are using our distribution platform. So I picked out the beats, I went to the artists, told them to get on it, and we created a project. It's called Aura Infinity. Dropped it on Livemixtapes first. I dropped it actually, and here's another thing. On the back end, LMT Pro, when you upload, you can choose your release dates, right? So you're in control. It's not us telling you, right? And you can release it like that, 24 hours to 90 days out. So on Livemixtapes, I released it on November 28th. And then on the DSPs, I released it, I think it was like January 5th, right? Moral of the story is, I'm working with all these artists, different artists, putting it together. I put out a project, and it's doing well. Now, am I going to consistently do this? Am I a DJ? Am I trying? No, what my whole thought process is I just wanted to showcase music and talent and be able to bring it together and encourage this, because it's happened before. Back in the day, Future would drop, and then all of a sudden Gucci, and then next thing you know, they got a joint project coming together, right? And we're seeing it today with these collaborations, and we're also seeing Drama bringing back, his Gangster Grills mixtapes and these branded mixtapes. So all this content that's being released is slowly coming back to us.
I think the live mixtape. I think y'all can have another run, but people are followers too. Have you thought about collabing or getting somebody relevant at the time to do an exclusive on live mixtapes?
Yeah, I mean, the doors are open, but we're not. Here's the thing. Again, we're not really worried about this run. You know what I mean? Like, the run is now. It's already in place. It's already happening. And I'm telling you, every day artists are coming out of their agreement. You said it before, Sean. We haven't had the voice. The question is why don't we have the voice? And I don't have the answer to that. But what I can tell you is people like yourself are giving us the opportunity where now you are educating the audience, these artists, these consumers of what's really going on. Remember, we're still private. We're not a publicly traded company. We've never went and upstreamed. Some of our competitors that you mentioned before, they actually did record deals. Signed. They're no longer here. We've completely stayed independent, done it ourselves, based off of relationships. And that's the biggest thing. I'm going to try to talk to you. You signing up, message me on Instagram, Livemixtapes, whatever it is. Communicate. We're going to help you out. We're going to tap in and tell you what's going on. And I don't care. And that's the thing. These other guys, they're massive. We've built our platform on relationships. Being able to talk to you and everybody else. And what's going to break it is when we drop this Livemixtapes Say Cheese TV project. So, you know, that's coming soon.
Hell yeah. So for artists wanting to know, like, how much do y'all have like services to like get y'all banner at the top, or is that like a thing? Like, can people pay to do that, or is that do you have to, you know?
Yeah. Great question. So we're not really, we're supporting content, obviously. And if you have a project that's already out, we encourage you to get with the DJ and we can get it on our platform. But really, we want you to get into our ecosystem. So sign up for our distribution, ingest it, and now we're pushing every project. We're not pushing just some. Every project gets a push. Every project. So, and then remember, again, Sean, it drops on all platforms. So we're giving you the push, and it's still out everywhere. So it's going to do whatever it does. If a song catches in India because it's hot, awesome. I'm Indian, so shout out India, right? Like, let's go.
You said, not to cut you off, but you said something that stuck out to me, and because I'm such a long-term person, I don't care about upfront money. Like, I'm so back in. I know if I put in the work, the money's gonna come. But a lot of people don't understand that. They're big on advances. People will sell their soul for an advance. We've seen it.
Of course. I mean, look, can I break it down?
You said that you don't give advances, and that's what may rub people the wrong way, because people are so upfront. I know artists that won't move. They feel like they feel useless if they don't have money.
I agree.
They feel like they can't create, or they're not creative if they don't have money. And I don't understand that.
I agree. And that's why we're a unicorn in this game. Because again, our platform is not only one of where, look at us like the distributor you're going to use to take your music and put it on Apple and Spotify, but then we're also paying you out. So look at it in two halves. One, that's going to take it to Apple, Spotify, Tidal, and all the DSPs. And then the other half, it's going to actually pay you out. So with us, they might get upset because they don't get this quote-unquote advance, but let's take this down. So I give you an advance, $5,000 advance, right? What happens? Well, generally, the deal structure is going to be somewhere around like 80-20, right? 85-15, the artist, the label, or whoever, this company that gave you this money, this entity, is going to get the 15, the lower half of it. So now, when I give you the 5K, money that's being generated on streams goes back to the company that gave you the 5K until they recoup their 5K. But let's pause. We're talking $5,000. Let's bump that down to $1,000. Let's say you're going to drop, Sean. You want to rap. I give you $1,000 advance, right? And I'm like, shoot a couple music videos with this 1K, and let's see what happens. Now, until I get my 1K back, you don't get to see any more money. So now when you drop, and this is what's going on again. Remember, the top 1% is streaming. And I know I'm going to get DM'd and be like, fuck you, Pesh. I'm streaming too like crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you have this big discrepancy between the top and people that are streaming. And there are more people with less than 1,000 streams
That's crazy.
than there are with more. And just take yourself as a consumer. How many times are you listening to random ass artists? You're not.
There has to be some type of narrative or story behind it to bring me in, to buy
some
me in.
emotional connection. There has to be something there, and that's what I'm trying to get at. That's why it's not. Take our social media. Our social media could be doing great, could be doing worse. It could be out here, we could be posting 100 times a day telling you about this artist and this artist and this artist and all this. Instead, our ecosystem, the comment section, go to the comments. Your last project dropped. Now artists are talking about that. I can't wait till this new single comes. Boom, you can actually chime in and go live and now talk to your artist directly and be like, yeah, I got something coming soon, right? And again, we're providing all that. The data, the access to the fans. The streaming is now towards, that's like not even there. Again, I'm streaming. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And I think my project is dope. I think it's amazing. You're on it, Sean. Right?
Yeah.
I took our first intro, our first interview. I cut it up and I used that as the intro. Shout out to Bigger Rankin. I was trying to create my own moment like that, right? And then it goes into King Mo. But that's what I'm getting at is like you take these artists, and here's another thing with our platform. It's not like if you use our system, you're locked in 4L. No. If you don't release with us, it's just like these other distributors. If you upload, you pay the service, the annual service fee. So it's a service fee just like everybody else. And it's a yearly subscription model. And you pay that. And
how much is the yearly?
So talking to us, right now, the yearly is $125 for the label, for the artist. I'm sorry, for the label, and $75 for the artist.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's there. And that's affordable, right? I mean, if you're a label, you should be able to afford $125 to put your content out.
So what's the overall goal with live mixtapes? Is it to break an artist? Is it to do what y'all did with Future? Is it to get as many people to sign? Like, what's the ultimate goal? Everything's a business for sure, but you being a fan of hip hop, you being a student of the game, and being as a pillar in having a real successful in a brand, what's the end goal?
The end goal is simple. We want to continue to build this ecosystem, let artists and fans grow collectively in unison, right? In our arena, in this league, everybody wins. And whether we're breaking artists, all I know is that there's a lot of good music and it's not being heard, Sean. We're going to get back to our number one goal, if we have to have a goal per se, is to make sure that every music, every artist is being heard. And then from there, we can formulate an opinion if it's dope or not. Yeah. And then also from there, we want them to grow. We're in an era of you don't need somebody else. Whether that's a label, whether that's monetary income, going back to an advance, whatever, there's ways to record. Back in 2010, you had to go to a studio. You had to spend dollars because you had to pay the engineer. Now you can do it on your phone. You can do it at the house. So there's more ways to release this content. So in fact, your spending has gone down. Now, again, using live mixtapes, we got the AI Reels creator, right? We have the direct upload, the direct fan base as far as LMT Pro Pay, where you can send your content directly to your fan base. So now we're enabling you to manage yourself and treat yourself like a business. And then when the offers do come in, because remember, here's the best part. When you drop with us, let's just take somebody else. Maybe it's a client that's already signed and now he's going to come and use our platform. Or it's going to be somebody else that's like new and breaking and they got a hit song. Whatever happens with it, they're going to be able to expand and grow, right? But not only expand and grow, they're going to be able to be in control. That's the biggest thing. The future with what we have, We have our publishing and producer build out, marketplace expansion. Right now, 99% of the artists don't have publishing. They don't even know what publishing is. They're just worried about streaming. We have that
You
being
know, with mechanical royalties or none of that.
none of that. And we're quietly building that up, right? So we've been quietly building our publishing arm intentionally and internally, right? So now we're going to be able to register your work, right? Structure splits properly, right? Support writers and producers behind the scenes as opposed to not being there available at all. We're ready to open up in a bigger way. But most importantly, we've built the foundation first, and now we're turning this into an opportunity layer for future growth, right? The angle of the marketplace, it's not just going to be publishing, right? A producer can showcase their beats. So now you can sell your beats. Think about how many producers are uploading it to whatever platform. Then I'm an artist. I go from that platform, I take it, I go use it, and then now I get copyright infringements because I don't have proper places and the proper, contracts and agreements in place, right? A lot of these producers, they think that, oh, well, when I do a licensing deal, and then the artist is like, yeah, I got the licensing agreement from the producer, that it's good to go. But what happens if that producer didn't register that licensing agreement? It's just a piece of paper. So there's all this disconnect that we're trying to clean up and push forward, right? Artists can now collaborate and directly with other artists, fans, etc. When transactions happen within the infrastructure, you can control it, and that's the biggest part. Again, the data, the AI. That's the new currency in this music game, right? So the streaming is the aftermath. Doing the merchandise, that's going to come in there. There's more than you can just do with merchandise, So it's expansion. And so why this matters now are, if you take producers, for example, going back to our producer marketplace, they're relying on DMs from the artist. So I'm an artist, now I got to DM you for this beat to get in contact with you, right? The writers and the artists are relying on relationships. What happens if I'm really dope, but I'm in Russia and I don't know anybody, right? So what am I going to do there? The deals can happen informally, right? Splits get messy. So we're formalizing all that out. Now you're going to get the clear splits, as I said. The publishing is going to be you're going to be able to see the back end. Everybody gets it from the minute the content is released. Nothing's going to be searched out.
Yeah. Real informative interview. I love how you broke it down. The number one thing of this interview I think people should take is the connection. Back then, when shit was dropping on live mixtapes, it was anticipation. It was a build-up. It was a storyline. It was a countdown. The site would crash, which would make you mad. It brought out emotion. Now it's none of that. It's like you say, out now. And I think that's the number one thing. I know managers are going to watch this. I know executives, labels, artists are going to watch this. We just need and I hate saying content because sometimes it can sound corny and cliche and it doesn't seem more authentic and original. But we need people to bring us to their world.
Yes.
It's bigger than the music. I feel like, and people get mad at me when I say this, I feel like music is the music is the last part that people should worry about. The rollout and bringing us to your world is key. And I feel like that's what's missing. I feel like everything is pay the blogs, pay this, pay that, but we don't know shit about you. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the number one thing, man. But
well, let me ask you this, Sean. So do you see how our platform can solve this problem from our conversation today?
Yes, but you have to understand, people are, I said it before, people are followers. They're watching Little Baby and Da Baby and Drake and Future and their favorite artists. They're watching them. And I feel like they're playing a game that they can't win. And I'm talking about the 99%.
Correct. So
they're watching the 1%. So I think they should go back to the live mixtapes and do it the OG way. But they're watching their favorite artists do the what we talk about.
yeah.
So I feel like that's the battle you're going against right now.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And I think that battle can collaboratively be won, meaning these labels can work with us. Mm-hmm. So it's a simple phone call to say, hey, such and such artist is signed with us. Can you help us with this rollout strategy? Now we're going to be like, yeah, let's get this DJ or their DJ, their whatever, right? Let's get this DJ involved, use our platform, and we roll it out. We'll worry about the street marketing. Let them do what they're going to do digitally. We all win. They're happy. We're happy because these guys are winning, and it's for the culture. We've been doing this for 18 years now, right? For the culture. And we're proud to, 20 years now, 2006. It's 2026. So 20 years now, we've been doing this for 2 decades of where we're trying to push the culture forward. If anything is being taken from this interview, I just want it to be heard that we've always been a fan, artist, producer, engineer, a creative platform. We're for the creators. We're always going to be for the creators. We're not trying to tell you not to go to a major label. We're not trying to tell you not to use this person or go with that person. But what we are trying to tell you is a lot of the stuff right now is not being heard. And it's because everybody is doing the same thing. And you're right. It's just going to take a couple people to come our way. And you're going to see this snowball effect. But regardless, if that snowball effect doesn't happen today, tomorrow, it's going to happen because right now we're developing these new artists. So there was a point when nobody knew who Future was, or Lil Baby, or Thug, or even Drake, right? So all these guys at one point had to start somewhere. And they started with us. And they're going to start with us. And if an artist tomorrow signs with the major label, I hope that their manager, their indie label, whoever it is like, yo, we want to integrate live mixtapes with this release, because we're for that. We're not saying don't count us in, don't talk to us. We're saying let's push this forward because, listen, if they make money, when we were dropping Future, Migos, Dolph, and everybody, Glock, and the whole world, they were signed to the major labels. They were winning too. We were just flooding the streets, making sure it was heard. Good music needs to be heard. That's all I'm saying. And there's corners and pockets that their reach won't go, but we're there. We're for the streets. We're from the streets. That's what it is.
Pesh, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Another classic, man.
I appreciate you.
We'll get another one in a year and a half.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see go forward where we're going to be. I'm thankful for you, this opportunity. Follow Live Mixtapes at Live Mixtapes. My personal is at Pesh22, Pesh22. LMT Pro, Live Mixtapes Distribution. We're grateful, man. Thank you. Say cheese.